You know, we
you little
have
dwarf.
3
Jewish
beautiful
women.
We're gonna haunt you all over the planet,
Yes,
little
we have
dwarf.
3 beautiful
We're gonna carry out Operation Terrorist.
moderators, and you're too busy.
We're gonna be acting as sleeper cells for our
You little
governments.
dwarf terrorist.
Jesus, this is...
Nobody's gonna take you out because you're gonna die naturally very soon. Take your meds, 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 take
Why
your
like
meds.
Israel is all the time begging for
It's okay.
We're not begging, we're kicking ass.
Sure.
Isn't it amazing the way Israel can take down a country 10 times its size?
Yo, Alan, I watched a video in
It's a remarkable victory. I'm amazed myself.
Alan,
It
I
can only
watched...
be done with the help of
Wait
God.
1 second,
It
no.
gives all praises to
any
God.
daughter, Elnor?
No, wait 1
All
second.
praises to God.
Can I speak to
I'm a
Alan?
handsome guy. Can you?
I don't think they're gonna
you
let
look
us.
handsome.
You just
Well,
gotta-
really want
If
to
Mr.
have a daughter.
Yarbash stopped talking to Normo, then I can get a word with Alan.
Elnor, have you got any daughters?
Oh my god. Alan, I watched a video in the capital of Armenia, Yerevan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Yerevan they opened houses to accept condolences for Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know why?
Unlikely.
Because all the
It's true, no.
because all the Persians, they get married and they do the traditional, oppressive Muslim wedding, and then they go to Armenia and do the regular wedding with the actual gown and the drinking and dancing and everything else. Yeah, that's why. So
What's an oppressive Muslim wedding?
Sounds like fun.
yeah, but
I always like to talk about the Anthony Bourdain episodes that he shot in Armenia. That was one of his best episodes. I thought it was beautiful.
did you ever see the when Conan O'Brien went to Armenia?
No, I will watch that. I will.
Oh
look it up.
yeah, it's a whole thing. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, but yeah, it's really good. Now, Princess, I think you got lucky with your nose.
Me.
No, my nose isn't perfect, but I would never augment it.
We're not Jews.
Hey, did he leave? I had such a nice picture that I made of him. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Look, guys. What Grok? Grok AI is actually really fucking good. I like it.
Let me show you the picture I made for him.
Look at mine first.
Wait, I'm on PTR.
Hey, fuck you all. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Prince, your buddy Fred came in the room today.
I'm telling you guys, fuck you all. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I repeat, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, Freddy PTR.
Hmm.
This is me and the Tunisian guy on that.
Jabeli the tranny lover.
Yeah, but
I thought the guy behind you was supposed to be Goo.
Yeah, they look like. I told him.
Yeah, but Prince, I can also tell you, if there were people offering condolences,
I hate people who don't speak proper English. Like Al.
leader, it's probably the minority because the current government is very pro-American, so they're not going to say anything.
Okay,
Soon
nobody
enough,
care about your.
soon enough, he'll be gone as we start kicking out the Americans.
I don't know why people give their political views on this app.
Al-Shabaab, I hope you're paying attention. How to kick out colonial powers from your region.
The entire world is colonized. You can't kick out nobody at this point.
I honestly think this is gonna be the beginning of the end for American presence in the region.
I think these are the end times, Prince.
You know what? Every day, I believe in that even more.
Yeah. So why don't you get married, bro? You're 36 years from.
Well, I'll get married and I'll go to jihad, bro. I'll get my wife in heaven.
Why don't you? Oh, you're gonna get the. Oh. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I gotta be.
That's a good idea, actually. The world's ending anyway, so might as well just wait for that. Okay, good plan, Prince.
Yo,
Never thought it was fine.
who's the pocket talking about me in the chat?
Prince, why are you breathing like that, bro? Can you stop?
Is it your people?
Who? The white fella? He's Korean.
No way.
Yep.
That's old, bro. Come on.
India Girl just added me. I know who you are, India Girl. Princess, can you remove India Girl real quick, please?
Who's that?
Who is that?
Oh, I followed that person.
Princessa, can you remove India Girl, please? Chop, chop.
No, don't.
How about, huh? Nigga, what? Don't give a fuck for that weed.
Come on, Mr. Steve, turn it off, please.
And young bleed. Y'all hate, man.
Thank
Being
you.
haters in the background.
Oh, if you're gonna play Louisiana shit, can you play Webby? I got that. And all you need to do is just play the first little verse, and you can cut it off.
Can I play G shit?
It is G. It's Webby.
G shit. Can I play Webby?
No,
G
can
shit?
you play? Are you gonna adhere to your guests, or you want to be just the only person playing what you want to play?
No.
Warren G.
Can you play Webby? I got that.
Then I can play G
right
shit
now?
before I play somebody else's shit. How about that?
Can you just play the song one pump? Like, for real? You just played that bullshit.
It wasn't bullshit. What are you talking about?
One pump, just play the music. I think, once he get through the playlist, we should play something that rep our hometowns.
See, I don't have no other device that I can't play it over here.
Well, if we can get through even the playlist, Mr. Steve want to keep putting his.
Right.
Hey, don't be a hater all your life. One more time. Webby what?
I got that.
I got that.
Mm-hmm. Then I'm done.
Use a
Y'all can
gangster.
have a flow.
Candace like gangsters.
This how I'm gonna give y'all a little backdrop. This how we used to be in the club. In the club, y'all. It's like shit.
That
Bullseye sweater going out.
Let go.
Chillin' and tight, you understand this nigga, I'm with you heard me? Look, gangsta shit, look. I fuck a bitch, pussy real time. You know that I ain't fucking good unless she real fine. You know I got a lot of money, I ain't gotta lie. You know that on the funny style, nigga gotta die. You know that speaking nuts out, bitch, apologize. You know that real shit, bitch, recognize. You know that.
What's his like?
why nigga? You look into all the black cities that once was. You know what I'm saying? And how many of those cities they came and destroyed. When you look at their history, right? Now you sitting there saying, "Oh, that was back then. That's irrelevant." Then you don't understand how you got to that point, and now you're wearing the hat, their hat. You become like them. And that's why you're hollering, "We America." Because you have become like them. Point blank.
Anytime a black man knows about geopolitics, he's a white supremacist and he's a
Yes, he is. Because
crazy, bro.
let me tell you.
Come to the room
Let me tell you. Let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Some Gen X or some baby brother generations when it comes to knowledge of self and black power. I don't know where I'm from.
You don't. You don't.
I know I'm E1B1A West African. Inge Ife, Nigeria. My ancestors went through the transatlantic slave trade 400 years ago. I know exactly where I'm from. I know who my people are.
And what was
about?
Yo, King
of the world today.
King,
has
what would
to do with Africa?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with Africa,
bro.
Yes, it does.
About right now, what America is going through with Iran, what Iran is doing to attack America. And if you don't want to face that, you're not a warrior, bro.
Do you know? Let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Do you know the history of Saddam Hussein? Do you know that history? Do you know, my brother, do you know? Do you know that history?
I'm talking about the war, bro. I'm not talking about...
I'm asking you, do you know the history of Saddam Hussein? Saddam Hussein, do you know that history?
Some things.
Did you know?
Some things about the Ba'ath Party.
Let me enlighten. First of all, Saddam Hussein, right, was an ally, was an implant by the U.S. government within the what they're trying to do now. They're hoping that they can find somebody that can lead Iran away from their government. If you understood the history of religion and how it came about, you would understand the trick or the mind game that's being played with us. But Saddam Hussein eventually got so big, you know what I'm saying, that they had to kill him. Point blank, they had to kill him. Because these men, whether they're Arab, Caucasian Arabs, I call them Caucasian Arabs, or just Jewish Caucasians, you know what I'm saying? These tribes of people, because they all Caucasians, but they represent different tribes, are going back and forth between themselves. It has nothing to do with you, the black man. It has nothing. When you're not in their rooms when they talk. You're not. Unless you have sold your soul to them, you're not in their room. And the only reason why you have some type of an attachment to them is only in reference to the building blocks to what you have accepted and what you have become. It's not indicative of who you really are and your purpose of God. You don't come, the most silliest thing is to believe that man and woman was created to find their purpose. There is no, that is where you're on the wrong path. You was created for a purpose and a cause, not to find a purpose, not to find a cause. But you can't hear what I'm saying. And so you are lost in the shuffle because you think they represent what you have become. And what you have become what they're doing is on a whole nother total level. Point blank. I don't care if you say you from West Africa or whatever the case may be. They came into Africa too. Got you worshiping a white Jesus. A God that don't look like you.
You worship white Jesus? I don't worship white Jesus.
No, you don't have no religion now. But I ask you, it's a society, because in their courts they have a big sign that says, "In God we trust." Do you think the laws of the land is God's law or man's law? Can you answer that question? Can you answer that question?
The law of the land should be an extension of God's will.
But it has nothing. Because when you go into court, put your hand on the Bible, right? You know what I'm saying? And they talk about God we trust, but then they are allowed to kill you when it says in the book that they gave us, "Thou shalt not kill, and vengeance is mine," says the Lord. What are they doing? You're not living under the Creator's law. You're living under the laws of man. Why do you think some of our women get so disrespected, and then we have arguments, gender arguments between one another. Because it's being led by men. Point blank. It's time you gotta wake up, man, before it's too late. Because there's a point where it's going to get to where there is no return. And then you lose your soul. Point blank. You think you need to wear their hat? Because that's all it is. Alignment with Israel and the U.S. is just wearing their hat. It don't represent you. You think when they have their round table, you're at the table? Hell no. Give me one man or woman that's at their table that looks like you. Give me one.
What are you asking for?
And if there's one at the table, right? When they at the table, and if I'm gonna land here, if there's one at the table, I'm gonna let you answer the question. If there's one at the table, that one at the table is a sellout. Our race is in the habit of living a life, whereas we're inclusive of everybody. But you don't see that in the Korean neighborhood. You don't see that in the Chinese or Japanese neighborhood or an Italian neighborhood. At least they represent who they are. If they are Italian American, you know they're gonna fly the Italian flag. If it's German American, you know they're gonna fly the German flag. When it comes down to black people, whose flag are you flying? Whose flag? If they French American, whose flag are you flying?
Can you land your plane, sir?
Okay.
Not sure what his point was or what his question was. I was trying
That's
to
the
follow
question.
it.
Whose flag, right? Whose flag are you flying?
What difference does it make?
It makes a big difference because it shows where you at from a historical standpoint.
And what if you don't have a flag? What if you're out in the middle of the field with...
That's my point. You don't have a flag. Who are your fathers? Okay, so who's your flag?
Okay.
What's your flag?
What I'm saying is, if I'm in the middle of the field and there's other people in the middle of the field and nobody has a flag, what difference does a flag make?
Jewish Americans, they do have a flag.
I said, what difference does the flag make?
It makes a big difference because it shows identity. It shows a certain nationality.
To what?
To where they from.
If I take up a flag from where somebody else is from, does that make me better?
No, it doesn't make you better. It makes you know who you are.
No, it doesn't. It absolutely does not.
Why it doesn't?
Because a flag is just a flag.
No, that is not true, sister. A flag is just a flag. Why do you make flags?
I don't know.
See, but that's the whole point. So how are you speaking on a flag if you don't know why they make flags?
Hey, because I'm trying to show you why you don't need to make a flag.
Wait. Why are we sitting here talking about flags? We're just talking about the war. Like, the contradictions just got to be weird.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that the concept. I'm sorry that the concept of flags got in there like that. But go ahead, Marcella. Go ahead. I'm Marcella.
My point is, we take up allegiance based on a piece of material and pledge our allegiance to that piece of material. Meaning, if I'm in another country and I grow up there, but the place where I was born has a different color flag than the place where I've grown up. Now I have to figure out whether I'm going to pledge allegiance to their material or the material in the place where I grew up. It's a piece of material. It's got a design on it.
But
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. It's a piece of material, fabric, with a design on it. And because I live in a certain place, I'm supposed to wave it around in the air as if this means something more than the one that they're waving in the air. They're both pieces of material. People put emphasis on this. They put a meaning to this piece of material. And then they literally make laws over this piece of material. You can't let it touch the ground. You can't let anybody burn it. You can't let anybody walk on it. You have to bury it this way. You have to fold it that way. It's a piece of material. And it means absolutely nothing but what emphasis people put on it. If you didn't know that was a flag, if you go to another country, you are not familiar with their flag, and you see this piece of material laying somewhere in a room somewhere, you wouldn't know what it was. It would just be a piece of material to you, and it could mean the world to them. But basically what I'm saying is, why do we put so much emphasis on a piece of material? To mean that this is where we're from and this is what we celebrate, and it comes in like a god. And then you have to really look at this piece of material as this is what I worship, this piece of material here, and I have to go through the battlefield. Somebody's holding up this flag while other people are shooting bullets around it. So we have to think about, why is it we have loyalty to a piece of fabric for a piece of land that we don't own, that we can't control, that has no allegiance to us, but we're supposed to have allegiance to it. So yeah, I know what the flags are supposed to mean.
But I'm missing. Wait a minute, I'm missing. You lost me somewhere. You lost me. Yeah, what do you mean?
You let me finish. Maybe. If
but you're not heading that way. I can tell how you talk. All right, go ahead. Curse me out. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, you went on for a minute, and you have your right to your thoughts, and I have my right to mine. And all I'm saying is, let us question why we go marching into war over a piece of land or fabric that we can never own, that we can never really put real meaning to.
Are you talking about black people, or are you talking about Caucasians?
Everybody.
Everybody? No, they have their agenda. If you listen to how we sound, they have their agenda as Caucasians. Even the 1% of them, they have their agenda of why they're doing what they're doing. Point blank, you cannot get around that. When you went to public school, right? If you went to public school, you didn't pledge allegiance to the flag? You didn't pledge allegiance to the flag?
Absolutely not. Why would I?
Y'all didn't say no pledge of allegiance? Because when I went to school, you had to pledge. When I went with first, second, third, fourth grade, fifth grade, we had to, the first thing we did before class started, we had to pledge allegiance to the flag for which it stands. Huh?
No, we didn't have to. You could if you wanted to.
Yeah, Daniel. Just when you start reading their interpretation, like
if I tell Black Hebrews, let's the Bible willing pastors.
Stanton. Just FYI, we've been through this ringer. We've debated Black Hebrew Israelites. One of our boys, Adam K, was brought into the Black Hebrew Israelite community because he knew genetics. He's responsible for deconverting like dozens of Black Hebrew Israelites, right? Like, trust me, we've all been through this ringer. We know this side. Like, we know what.
Oh, so he's all empirical then. He's like, must.
He's a rationalist. Like, Adam is like a rationalist, liberal. Like,
is he still in the camp?
No, he's not a Black Hebrew Israelite. He's just a liberal who decided to make fun of Black Hebrew Israelites and deconstruct them using genetics, and then make them realize that it's all bullshit. He converted dozens of Black Hebrew Israelites.
That's that. Hallelujah. I hope they find a church, because I know a lot of these individuals that are in there. You know, it does help them with not doing dumb stuff like crime and all that, but you know, it's a false cult.
I mean, a lot of these Protestant denominations are all basically false cults.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I would acknowledge.
I know some of the black dudes who converted to Islam though. They are like, I know one guy. He's from Detroit, but there was another guy from Detroit. But anyways,
of course, he's from Detroit.
And when I tell them, like, dude, you are literally escaping America because you feel it's racist and not feel included. But you go to Japan to become an English teacher, then gets converted to Islam. While meeting some Muslim over there, and then go to Egypt.
You might as well go play the Ouija board after that.
That's mediumistic spirit. That's actually Pentecostalism. So your average black Pentecostal church is actually very similar to Eastern spirituality, where they're being manifested by a mediumistic spirit. That's why they're jumping on the ground and all that.
Shamanism all over again, absolutely. Same with evangelicals, right?
Yeah.
Same with a lot of these.
What? Who's teaching English in Japan?
Well, I mean, there's
one Muslim brother.
Where is he?
No. I'm saying like a lot of American black guys are getting converted to Islam once they step outside.
Yeah, it's because they're Kate and what's the dude who worked for
even before that, bro.
Nico.
No,
what's the other dude's name?
Stop.
No, not him.
I'm gonna start muting you. Stop 1 second, bro. This is like a very modern understanding. Blacks have been converted like the Nation of Islam.
Jewish Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of health, wealth, love, peace, strength. Jewish Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of health, wealth, love, peace, strength. Jewish Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of health, wealth, love, peace, strength. Jewish Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of health, wealth, love, peace, strength. Jewish Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of health, wealth, love, peace, strength. Jewish Shabbat prayer song, asking for blessings of health, wealth, love, peace, strength. Saw the red go up again.
India was taken over by wars by the Muslims, and they
I
ruled
know,
over
but
India.
I know the Mughal Empire. I know the see, we fought the Aurangzeb and defeated him. Yes, I know that. But under the Mughal Empire, there are other leaders who never did any type of forceful thing. I think Babur the Great, or Sir Akbar the Great, he was somebody that was
The
secular. He
Rajputs were fighting. That area was always
even from the BC. You had.
But you're not understanding something. But it was there was attempts. There were multiple attempts, right, to try to annex, take over, and control. That's one thing. So, but you're not telling me, but did the Mughal Empire ever win?
Empire in 300
did
BC.
the Mughal Empire ever win
not
to establish?
That's not the point.
I'm talking about Mauryan Empire.
Always like need to attain dominance, and in doing so, if those who dominate are like peaceful, good, cater to the well-being of their people, the collective, after they have attained dominance, that area will flourish. This is what he's saying. He's saying the starting point, however, would have to necessarily be some kind of like destructive.
Well, it needs to be war.
Look,
history of India from
which a dominance can be achieved, something like that. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. So Mahayanapads in 600 BC was 16 major kingdoms, and then they frequently fought each other. That's in India. Then you have the Magadha expansion, and later on Mauryan Empire in 300 BC. Then the Kalinga Wars in 261 BC. Like any country you're gonna bring is always been established by wars.
External.
No, internal.
Internal. I never said external. So was India divided by those different tribes? It was
16 different major kingdoms. They used to fight each other.
I know. Yes, I've already established that. Yes, there's going to be fights within any nation, right?
So in this case, you need to concede to the point. There doesn't exist a single country in history.
But India was not established. There was no fight with another.
So do you understand my question now? My question was: Is there a single country that ever existed in human history that was established without war?
It's not established. It's not established. It's not being established. Again, you're very. Okay.
India
was hold on for a second. It's not about being established means it was created, it was made out of something that was not the fact. Like for example, the United States did not exist until there's an external force that created, and it caused a lot of pain and hurt to the people that they were there for them to make it. That's when you say established. Correct? I'm not talking about.
Is there a single country that was ever established?
Not established.
Exists today or in history.
Conflicts.
Listen to the question, please. Ace. Is there a single country in history that ever was established without war? A single country in history.
I don't think you understand what you mean by established. I think
a country. Look, this is how a country happens. Normally, throughout history, there's always where people were tribal. Why? Because for them, they thought, for example, like a plot of. Can I please land?
Hold on for a second. You know that UK.
You're not even talking the same. You're talking over. You're not even listening to what I'm
talking about. You want to ask something, right? The UK had.
I'm not going to ask you anything.
That was a war. It was a war. It was political. You know that, right? UK is a good example.
UK was had thousands of wars inside of them.
They colonized others.
No. UK, United Kingdom had thousands of wars. Wales used to fight with England.
You're not understanding.
England used to.
Established means it had to come into some sort of formal existence. It had to fight somebody who wanted.
You're a very bad interlocutor.
What?
You're a bad interlocutor. You're not engaging the same point.
Go ahead. Go spew.
No, I'm saying you're not even engaging the same point.
Yes, because because you're not wording it right. Has there ever been a nation without war or conflict within?
Talk about countries. Talk about
nation, country, whatever. There's always been conflict within. Always. There's always been a fight of resources.
No, I'm saying countries do not pop into existence. Countries happen, but why? Every single country has the exact same formula. A bunch of tribes or a bunch of nomads. Everybody had their own territory, but sometimes they will fight each other because they want somebody. They want I want what you got, and so on and so forth. Then comes a guy who decides to, let's unify together. Let's create alliances. Instead of fighting each other, let's get together. And then that develops into a country. That's always the same case, right? It's always a division. Somebody comes in, said, let's get together. he gets together, he becomes the leader, and then creates borders. This is our borders. This is us, and then either expands and continues as a country, or then later somebody else who had a bigger country takes them over, and then it changes and so on and so forth.
So someone had a bigger country that took over and changed India? There's a bigger country? I'm confused.
Yeah, like there's countries who used to exist and now they're gone. They don't exist anymore. Like for example, in the
idea of nation states is not. It's more recent.
There's a lot of countries that they're gone from history.
Yeah, you see that. Yugoslavia, I understand that. But what I'm trying to tell you again is, at one point, this whole idea of countries establishing borders. This is more of a modern invention. If you go far back enough, it wasn't done in that type of way.
Egypt was a country. Egypt was literally a country that had its own borders, and it has its own system, and it was invaded by other people.
Well, look at Palestine, right?
Palestine wasn't really a country, but yeah.
Well, people. So you don't see that Palestine was invaded in essence?
Yeah, after Sykes-Picot, it became a country, but before that, it wasn't. So it becomes like are we agreeing with Sykes-Picot because I don't agree with borders whatsoever. I don't care about Sykes-Picot borders. I'm saying like as a historical reference, after Sykes-Picot, now you had the borders you had the Palestine as a country, as a state, its own flag done by the British. They decided this is your land, and then everything happens. But that's a different topic. But like what I'm saying is like basically at the end, once we understand how countries are developed or how basically it's the same thing. Me and you are able to live in peace because somebody before us, before we were born even sometimes, they were able to dominate this particular piece of land, was able to establish it as theirs and protect it and make it continue until you were born, I was born, and then we are able to live in this land. Somebody in the future might come in and say, you know what, I'm going to take this piece of land, give me that, I want it. And then it's going to be, okay, if he wins or we win, and so on and so forth. It just keeps recycling. Land always keeps recycling. It doesn't stay forever. But you can only establish peace once you're able to defeat every single person and establish a world domination. This is the only way you can establish peace. Because then you don't have anybody who's going to fight you anymore. Once you're able to defeat every single military in this world,
but
and there's no more enemies, then that's
internal. This is the thing. Fine. So let's just say that occurs, and people all come into this one world government, one nation, and they do it not willingly. It's out of force. There's always going to be factions that will grow quietly out, and they will try to fight back because of how things were done. It was done without choice. It's better to have no borders of people to live and have their, identity.
Internal conflict is always going to happen. Like, this is not... I'm not saying that once we do this job, then we can go and sleep. No, you're going to have to continuously have supervision, checking on. That's why you have agencies. You're going to have the exact same system. You're going to have to find out if somebody's planning a coup, because people are evil. Evil exists. Criminals exist. People are going to want to take over. Some people are going to... The same way the same way when you go down the street, you're getting robbed.
Might is right. To you, might is right. Is that how you feel?
The what? Sorry.
Might is right. The most
for the right. If it's done with the right way for the right reasons. If it's done with the for example for greed, then it's not.
But everybody has their own their belief of what's right and wrong. Right?
Yeah, everybody has their own moral system. But I'm claiming that mine is the perfect one.
No, you're saying the most powerful. The most that would be the most powerful military, right? That would be able to establish dominance, right? So that means you believe in might is right. So whoever can do that wins, and it's fine.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying there also needs to be a particular backbone, which is, let's say, a reference. Like I'm using the Islamic reference here. I'm saying I want to establish an Islamic dominance, and I'm going to use that as a guidance of how to rule over. If somebody else say I'm going to establish a world dominance, but I'm going to use the Christian model or the liberal model, I'm not going to agree with you in this case. That doesn't fix my problems. It's only going to cause problems because these are man-made concepts. They're always going to create problems.
Read the Clash of Civilizations. You'll get to really see, if you haven't already, why we end up where we do.
Clash of Civilizations?
Yeah, it's a really great book by Samuel P. Huntington. It's a really good book. Yeah.
mean, if, the issue, I think, it starts from Europe when they started promoting this nationalist movement that caused more chaos than ever, because now everybody believes this is my land, my border, my blood is worth this particular piece of land. This particular nationalistic ideologies, I don't agree with it. I say this entire planet is for all humans. We're supposed to move around whenever we want to. There should be no limits for our movement. If I want to move here, north, west, south, doesn't matter. I can go anywhere, as long as I'm, because resources are, they're all over the place. You have some places have good water, some places have oil, some places have good farmlands, for example. You can grow crops, and humanity needs everything. Humans need every single thing. So it's about wealth distribution. There's enough for everyone to go around. Like, there shouldn't be a particular land or particular system that's dominating everything and keeping the rest of the world hungry. Why? Hence why if you have one particular global country or global system, then you're able to support everyone. In this case, you can go anywhere. Then there's no immigration problems, there is no resources problems. The entire globe is ours. We just, as a unified humanity, we can do whatever we want with it. So I think that's what, but as long as you have these nationalistic paradigms, then no, like somebody's gonna say this oil was in my land and these are my borders, so I'm the one who's gonna keep it and I'm the one who's gonna control it. And now we're witnessing the development of water being used as territory, like Ethiopia right now building their dams, saying that the Nile is theirs. They're the ones who have it, so they can build dams, they can control the water, and if they decide in the future to stop the water, like dry up the Nile River altogether, they can do it, because they're building like 9 different dams or 10 dams now, and they will completely stop the flow of water. So that countries like Sudan and Egypt could completely dry up, because hundreds of millions of people can literally die out of,
But we also have nations that will usurp other people's resources. We see Congo and how Congo is, the way it's being treated by, corporations, obviously American. So it's not even just controlling what's within our borders, it's also trying to forcefully take others because we think we're a superpower and we can't. So I think it's more complex.
Yeah, but if let's say if Ethiopia and Sudan and Egypt became one country, then they're not going to have a fight about water. Then in this case, they're going to create their dams to use it for whatever. If they want to use it for electricity, and they're going to export the electricity to Europe, for example, then that's good for them. They can control how much water is going. Like, if they're one united country, these 3 major countries, then they're not going to fight each other anymore, because it's just one singular land. Now imagine on a bigger scale, if the entire continent
Can
is
you
one
solve
country.
the problem of the human condition for greed and power? If the day you solve the problem for the human condition, our desire for more and more, because we think there isn't enough, right? That day is when your model is going to work. The symmetry breaker here is power and greed.
Yeah, the way I would deal with it is like, I don't want to change anyone. Like this module of we're gonna teach people, or we're gonna change them, so we can create a system where every single human wakes up in the morning, prays, goes to the gym, brushes their teeth, and then goes to work and come back, and they're happy with their family. Like I'm not gonna able to control people and change their life. The same way you're not able to change, for example, your partner. Like you cannot change them. You cannot change human beings, but you can anticipate what they can do. You can predict them, just like a child, like a baby. If you put fire in front of a baby, more likely than not, he's going to try to play with it, right? So to solve that problem, what do? You separate the child from the fire. You put a distance between them, right? And then you teach them over the time, like, this is bad for you, and you're never going to be able to like watch over them all the time, but like eventually they will get it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We are not going to anticipate that we're not going to teach people, or like we're not going to change their character, but we're going to basically say, we have this much resources here, we need this much people for this particular project, this will be funding this, like we're going to be transparent. And that will then, and then people realize like there is no need to be greedy because there's enough to go around. Like once you have transparency, for example, then people will realize, okay, now it makes sense. Like, and you're showing like
this
you're not
happens
making.
when like the cabinet or the leader or leaders, this is assuming that they are wise, just and compassionate. You're building a system very idealistic, Abdullah. And Plato came up actually in his Republic with a very similar system to what you're proposing. And he called it a noocracy, where like the leading figure and figures, the leading figure is a philosopher king. So what he meant by that was the wise man. It's the rule of the wise, right? And the cabinet under him, who administered people too, had this particular quality of wisdom. And in doing so, they knew what is best for their people. So this is a non-democratic system of governance. Of course, you can refute it. It has its flaws. It wouldn't allow for like, every voice to be heard. But basically it's saying that when you allow for every voice to be heard, some of who may have like lower intellect or just not wise enough or dominated by greed or power, the smaller people, they make wrong choices. Like Trump, for example, is one such choice that has come out of like a democratic system, for example, right? It was not a wise decision, one can say, right? And then those who elected him, namely the majority, would say, no, this was the best we had. So what a philosopher king does is he eliminates this whole process and he becomes that voice of wisdom, mercy and compassion and justice. Now, is it possible? By the way, this was also what the Iranian Vilayat Faqih was built on neocracy, supposedly. But we can see that this too somehow fails at some point, right? Because there's always potential for corruption that seeps in at some point or the other. So
Yeah, like this is why I'm saying like here's what it is. I cannot pick and choose my population or what they're gonna like or what they're gonna do, right? I cannot pick the ideology of the nation, like of hundreds of millions of people. But I can pick and choose who's gonna be right next to me in, let's say, in the leading process. So I can pick and choose my government, I can pick and choose my judges, I can pick and choose my Senate, I can pick and choose these people who are gonna be officials. And how I'm going to pick and choose, I'm going to pick based on ideologies. Those who align with my ideology, they have the same vision, just like I'm recruiting, basically. If you have a business, you're recruiting based on qualifications, personality traits. You see if they're going to fit. You see if they have the exact same vision as yours, so that they can work with you. If somebody doesn't agree with you on the simple premise that he doesn't want the country to be run the exact same way you want it, or there's like too much conflict on ideologies, then just not going to work with me, right? If somebody is motivated by money and I want people who are motivated by ideologies, then I don't want that person. If somebody has a completely conflicting ideology, I don't want that person. So I can pick and choose people based on their ideologies. So then in that particular governing system, I'm making sure that there is I'm minimizing corruption. And there's many supervisions, like systems where I can supervise over everyone, so that everything, and the main thing is transparency. I think transparency is the key factor that's missing in current regimes. Like for example, like look at these negotiations are happening right now. Like even these Iranian-American negotiations or Palestinian-Israeli negotiations. Why they're not being televised? Why are these negotiations not being televised? Why they're not discussing in public, saying everything they're discussing? How do we know that they're what they're doing is actually what they're saying? Like for example, when Oman in 26th of February said that Iran was apparently very willing to do everything to minimize the nuclear programs, even said they're not going to collect any more nuclear what was it called, uranium, and they're happy to with minimizing their enrichment programs. But why, if that's the case, then why not being publicly discussed? Why not showing, for example, to the public, this is what we were talking about, and these are the negotiations going back and forth? What if actually what's happening in negotiations, Iran went on a table and said, we actually got pictures of Trump having sex with a baby. And then they said, okay, end of the conversations. We cannot have, like, what if they're scammers, for example? What if they're actually negotiating about money in this case? They're saying, hey, give us some money instead so we can let you, like, how do you know if there's corruption or not? There needs to be transparencies. That's why these negotiations between countries need to be televised, need to be shown. And that's why, for example, the Rasul ﷺ, when he was negotiating, he was in public. Like Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, use it as a reference. Sulh al-Hudaybiyah was done in front of all of the Muslims. Everybody knew exactly what's happening. Even those who were not happy, like Umar ibn Khattab, he said, why we're accepting these terms and conditions? And why we're doing this, right? So negotiations should be done in public. So then if the other party is being deceiving or lying or using, for example, some kind of manipulation tactics, it's going to be on them. And it's going to be looking bad for their country. It's like, hey, look at the officials that you guys have elected for you to represent your country for these negotiations. They're corrupt people, and they're causing these negotiations to fail. So it's going to be on them in this case. So that's why, like, you have to have, like, transparency. You have to show. You have to explain. Like, you don't need to explain the military secrets, for example, to the public. Like, some things can be kept a secret. For example, like the deep state information that's very sensitive that could be used against you.
If you're going transparent, you have to go all the way transparent.
No. I don't need to. For example, I don't need to say. I don't need to say to the people, if I'm weak in this particular location, if I get attacked, we might lose. I don't need to share this. This is by the military. We're discussing between us. I don't need to say, oh, we've lost. Like, for example, some of our equipment became bad. The software is not working anymore. If somebody attacks us, we're not going to be able to defend ourselves from this particular angle. I don't need to share that. But I can't share every single detail that's important for the people, like how much source we have.
So you're saying, like, to generate, like, motivation and to, like, bring about some kind of, like, inspiration. You don't like say every. You don't. 1 second. You don't transparently like give out all information. So Plato also called that the noble lie. Right? No. It is not
just noble lie.
No. It's not a lie.
If there is a good reason, if like for example, the Rasul ﷺ, when he did Fath Makkah, the of Makkah, he didn't tell anyone that he's doing it. He told them. He just simply told them, everybody get prepared, get your weapons. We're going to a war. He didn't tell them where they're going or what's going to happen. They just told them do it, and that's it.
So you're talking about a benevolent dictator, basically.
No. I'm saying that if there is a good reason for me to hide particular information,
this figure, this archetype, this leader is a benevolent dictator, basically.
No, it's not like so.
It is.
Abdullah is a bit right, but okay, it doesn't matter what the message.
Yeah, he's right in quite a few
don't know
ways.
But the problem is that the current leaders, the Iranian leaders as well as the American leaders, they actually don't feel the responsibility that, or they don't want the people to know, and that's what. So we haven't reached that level of transparency in government that we aspire for, where the people in the government are transparent with what they are doing. So the only reason this is not happening is because the Iranian regime also doesn't want its people to know what they're saying. It's not like
Yeah, but why the negotiations are not being televised? Like, this is a crucial.
Because they don't want.
Okay, so there's corruption in that case. Yeah, I don't need to believe everything that they're saying. Like, simply.
We can't believe everything the opposition is saying either, right?
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, and if I want to create a system that's good for humanity overall, this is how I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna lead by being transparent. I'm gonna show the people what's happening, and I'm not doing it, for example, to like, there's no democracy. I think
it's not democratic. It's not
there's no democracy. How are you going to then choose your leaders?
Yeah, I think democracy is a failure. I think it's
how are you going to choose your leaders?
No.
What methodology are you going to use to choose leaders?
I think leaders need to be chosen in a particular system where it's based on particular criteria and it's being recycled. So, for example,
you're going to do exams.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at, number one is, let's say it starts with those who are gonna start a movement. Those are gonna be the people who are gonna, let's say, if let's say a major conflict continues, like this Iranian war with the Gulf countries, right? And somebody then decided to take it as an opportunity to create a massive revolution, took over the Saudi lands and the Gulf countries, for example, and like an internal revolt. And they became successful, right? What they should do next is, since they're already in power and they're winning, and now they're taking over these territories, they need to elect people, like they have to pick people they're gonna work with them. So this starts with them. Say, okay, we want people who match our ideologies.
Yeah, that
People
sounds
who
like
are
the
gonna-
RGC.
Yeah, it is a democracy. He's talking about Plato's republic.
This is basically
It works if it has good governance.
General rule, might is right. That he's talking about. Might
Yeah, you have to have people who basically are motivated by the exact same ideology. That's what it is. That's the core that you need.
So,
you need
Might
to have the
is
exact
right,
same.
but this might is good.
Might is right, kind of.
That
But
is
that's stupid, man.
why?
Because that's what Trump is
Refute
doing.
it.
That's what Trump and Netanyahu are doing. They're showing might is right. Okay.
Right,
They
but
will
what?
run roughshod over anything else because they at this point in time they are strong. They have the strength, power. Right.
And Saddam is
because, you know,
justifiable.
if you want to use
Hold on for a second, Nilo, to your point.
might is right principle, then you have to see what the negatives are, and this is what the negative is. You know.
Because in their eyes, they think they're doing the right thing, right? And their perspective.
And also,
Oh,
of course,
they
no, they are really into.
they don't think it's the right. They just think they are working on.
Well,
themselves.
they deserve. Then look at Netanyahu.
I mean, they're
Everything
not
he's
thinking
done.
about right. They're thinking about
No,
is it
for
utilitarian
them, they
or
believe
not?
they're chosen. That it's us, it's me. We can do this. We have every right,
In
right?
that sense, yeah.
And they use
And they have the right because they have the might,
Correct.
they have the power, they have the military might, you know. So they can do whatever they want with their military might. That is how we have reached this situation.
Correct. All means justify the end. That's why we are.
I don't
I
agree
think
with
that
this.
if you want to have like, you know, unless you have a situation.
Okay, then refute it.
One vote
Because
in the world,
I have a moral guidance. I have a moral system.
Yes.
If any action will contradict my moral system, then it's a wrong
Yeah, but
action.
that's your
definition.
This is
but
okay.
that's also Trump's. Trump will have to say that.
Yeah, his morality is
How did you know this is Trump's moral
No, I'm
system?
saying
because
that
it's an
no, yes,
egoist
because
philosophy.
he will also say
Egoism,
that.
right?
Okay,
What
whatever
serves me
I think
is
is
right.
I will do.
Yeah, what serves me is right.
I don't think that's necessarily true because Trump himself said that he believes he's going to hell. So he might be operating from a particular paradigm where he thinks that he's doomed anyway. So he's just
Okay,
doing
but
whatever.
Netanyahu, the entire government, the Likud party, they've always said this is their right. This is, they've actually used their religion to try to justify it. So this is like, there's no universal principle that you could apply because everybody has their own field.
Yeah, the Jewish psychology is based on that they want to live as much as possible, and it's all about they want to live. They want to live as much as possible.
Okay,
That's
so
it
what
is.
does it have to do with the way that they assert their? That makes no sense. So go and destroy.
So yeah, I'll tell you. So this is why, like for example,
Are you
people are talking
justifying
about.
it? Are you justifying it now?
No. I'm explaining psychology, like how it relates.
It's not about
This,
psychology.
like if you want to, yeah, what's not about psychology.
It's not about psychology.
You need to understand your enemy if you want to defeat them.
So that's your enemy? Oh my God.
What is the Jewish psychology like? As if like there is specific psychology based on adherence of a certain religion or ethnicity.
No, but it develops, right? No, it
Wow.
develops based on ideology.
How?
No.
How?
It's called a religious ideology because it develops into a religious psychology. Eventually, if I keep telling you you're special, chosen, and important, at some
Everybody
point,
says that.
at some point, no, not
literally
everyone says that.
Everybody.
But bro, Christian ideology is based on original sin. What are you saying? Not everyone says that. You're born freaking tainted within the Christian ideology, right?
This is all bigotry.
Like for example, do you know if you want
You're saying
to?
nothing. You're just positing your opinions. It doesn't matter. You're just positing opinions.
No. Jewish with Islam have, and then you see how
fight the freaking attack the argument. Don't give me.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You're painting a broad brush. You're taking an ideology and saying that this ideology has a certain psychology. That is what you.
Okay. Do you know, for example,
some other ideology? Okay, so for example,
right, it develops into it. Nilopal, stop being a gandu. It develops into it eventually. That's what he's saying.
Do you know what's the Israeli actual Israel weak point? Like, what is the weak point in Israel?
I mean, of course, everyone has it.
What's Israel's? What's our Israel's actual weak point? What's the weakest? Like, what's their? If you want to attack Israel, what's the most thing you can?
The US for they depend heavily on the US for their military.
It's not a weak point.
Right, it's a dependence.
What is their biggest weak point? I'm asking about a random. I'm asking about what's their critical weak point. What's their number one weak point?
Water. I don't know.
No, it's the actual people. That's why I'm saying it's like it's related to that. Their weakness is their people, because the number one, they're little numbers compared to the rest of the world. They're a minority, and they cherish their lives extensively. They care a lot about their own lives. For them, like for example, Muslims, they have the concept of shahada, which is giving up your life for a particular goal, whether it's for jihad or for your family. It doesn't matter. Like they have this sacrificial aspect of it. So for them, life is a purpose, and it can be used for a particular. It can be served for a particular purpose. If let's say for winning a war, I can go and fight and die for this goal, then I will do it. The Jews, they don't have that. They're fighting to continue living. So that's why when people are talking about that Israel is losing money, Israel is spending too much money on this war, that's not the weak point for Israel. Israel don't care about these things. They know money can come and go. They can make it back again. They'll figure it out. Like it's not an issue. Money is used as a tool to prolong their lives as much as possible. So attacking the Israeli people is the actual weak point, and hence why they're creating these extensive wars to push away all the threats. They don't want people to be closer to them. They want to be people outside of them as much as possible. That's why they're building the walls. They're pushing America to make the worse for them.
No, it's called the Greater Israel Plan. Okay, this is so some of these things that they call a threat, there was no threat eternally. Like if you look at what they've done with Lebanon, right? Trying to take their land, it's out of perceived threat. It wasn't like they were threatened, right? A lot of this has to do with expansionism, okay? They do have this ideology of, it's actually in the Likud party charter, the whole river to the sea, that starts with them, actually. They do believe in taking their biblical or scripture and applying it to justify annexing land. So if you have not been, or even that war with Egypt, right? They didn't even do shit. Oh, we think they might attack, right? So a lot of this is on presumption, and actually puts more of their people in danger when you go and keep on hurting people that have no ill will towards you. You create more enemies when you do this.
Yeah. But why they're making these, like, you need to understand also what's the actual motive here, or what's the mechanism that's moving them. Yeah, why they want to do an expansion.
Give it to you. They believe they're entitled to it based upon their book.
Right? Yeah, and why is it important for them to achieve
because of their religious beliefs.
Yeah, but why? Why this particular belief system exists in their belief?
Okay, listen, they have this whole idea of the end of times and that whole prophecy, right? Which is one thing. But again, for you keep telling me the same thing over and over again, as if somehow their ideology, like you keep saying people do things, right? And as long as if you do things under the right context. What we don't understand is a lot of people have varying beliefs, and some of them we don't agree with. Yeah, I'm saying
about Israel, the Jews specifically, why they care so much about...
I have a devotion to Padre Pio, and Padre Pio recommends that you go to confession every week.
I do confession every night with God, but I only go to confession like with the priest like 3 times a year. But I do
Iranian, Libyan women can't confess.
Yeah, I always found it weird that you don't see their face when you're talking to them. I think that's kind of
it depends on the church. Some priests do it face to face. Some don't.
But a lot of it is in that room, right? Where you don't see them.
Yeah, it's in the confessional booth. Yeah.
It's not
I always found that very weird.
Why is it weird?
Nigga, I find you weird, nigga.
Maybe I watch too many horror movies and it's like.
It's not weird. You just sit down and they slide the thing open and they start talking.
Yeah, but you don't see them. Like if you see them, it's different. But.
Well, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be anonymous and private. That's what.
Right.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
It's like
hold on.
Who you're talking to?
That's actually not true.
Who you're talking to.
That whole thing.
The whole point is for them to see you, but
why would you want him to know your
The whole point is anonymity.
I want you to know who you're talking to. Not
you gotta know.
Nigga, it's not like any random nigga's gonna sneak in and act like
anybody.
No, that's not how it works.
What are you talking
There's
about?
usually a
Yeah, that's so irrational. Like,
They like if you sick, somebody else
it is
irrational.
Relax, hold on. It's a confessional booth, and there's typically a line, and you wait online until you wait your turn, and then you go.
Someone else could go in there though.
Hold on. Is that our confession is to God? It's not to the priest.
Oh my God! Shut the fuck up.
Me?
You see how Catholics talk to each other?
She's not talking to Anne.
Talk to each other. This is how Catholics talk to each other.
She wasn't talking, or.
They're not real Christians.
I forgot my train of thought. But yes, it's to emphasize anonymity. And Aiken, to clarify, it's not forgive me, Father, for I sinned. That's actually a movie thing. That's not how confession works.
Oh, they get 3 Hail Marys. They get 3 Hail Marys, and they're good to go.
Well, what do you all say?
You just sit down.
It's not 3 for everyone. Everyone gets a different number.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
Depending on how many sins you
You see, Egan, they really do get 3 Hail Marys.
It depends on how grave the sin is.
Correct.
So, how many Hail Marys you gotta do for beating your meat?
I don't know. We had that conversation in Chilism where it's kind of if you confess to your church that you committed a crime, a violent crime, let's say, like you murdered someone, and how if
there's a seal of confession, the priest can't say anything.
Right. The topic was if like the priests should be obligated to.
They can't
tell the officers or authority.
Yeah, they can't.
They're not obligated.
They're not. Yeah. If they do so, if they break the seal of confession, they will be excommunicated.
Correct. Right, but it's we're talking about morality.
Because they're the biggest gang in the world. They're the biggest gang.
Let's just say fine, he doesn't. But let's say the cops come and they do a subpoena on the church.
They can't do that.
They can't do that.
They can't.
They can't.
Do a subpoena.
No, they can't.
Bro.
No, they cannot.
And
even if they had that capability to do so, he's not. Who gives a fuck? He's supposed to die for the Lord, right? Even if they said, "Hey, you received the death penalty if you don't fucking tell us what this guy confessed to you," he's supposed to be willing to die for the cause. If he's a proper priest.
Hold on, Shai. If that's the case, then you would see the FBI and all federal law enforcement going to churches to try and get all the mobsters they had under their surveillance.
There are exceptions, though, guys, specifically for child abuse. Like if you're the church official and someone says, like, I'm currently abusing a child, they actually have to report it.
Because you're not supposed to hurt the little children.
Even attorney-client privilege, there are exceptions.
Yeah, but this is something that stays between the clergy.
But so what if you murder a child? Is that
it's not like. Yeah.
I think the key is if it's an ongoing thing, right?
That's what if you murder a
Right.
child.
If it's a sin, if it's a sin, like for example, if it's a sin,
it's considered a sin.
Right. If it's a sin that they confess that they have no intention of repenting for, or if they have no intention of stopping, then they won't give them absolution. So.
Wait, I have a question. So the priests that you confess to, are those priests? Wait, are they allowed to have children or not?
No, their dicks don't work.
No, they're not.
Nigga, your dick don't work.
To get married either.
No, but there's ones that do, right?
No, not.
Okay, so us, like me and Shai, we're part. Hold on, we're part of the Roman Rite, the Latin Rite, which is the main rite in the Catholic Church. Like Eastern rites, like Byzantine Catholics, I believe they can be married, but they have to be married before they're ordained. Once they get ordained, they can't get married. So it depends on the rites.
That's why they be touching little boys.
So imagine if you go and confess that you killed the priest's son. Like, what are they gonna do?
He's gonna be a fake priest.
These fucking hypotheticals are just retarded.
I'm just
The law or what GUHA stands for everything.
It's considered like a sin for a priest to
it's a moral
tell people
sin.
It's not. Y'all are not.
So let's just go based with the hypothetical though. If a priest had a son before he got ordained, or a daughter, and he got ordained, and he's listening to people's sins, and someone comes and says, "I killed your daughter."
The same rules apply.
Yeah, the same rules apply, and him as a priest, right? He's gonna have to forgive him.
Right,
yeah.
and priests can't have children.
Hey,
Wait, and Tony, I have a question then. So if they are married before they're ordained, what if in the Eastern Catholics, which I'm not privy to, so I've looked that up, but like if they got married and had a kid before they were ordained, is that okay?
Yes, that is okay, yes.
Wait, so
can they have children after they're ordained?
They cannot have children afterwards.
Only in our church, if you go to a priest,
those kids will be considered bastards.
And you tell them that you killed somebody, like
your
the
kids?
same thing, like they won't get involved. Or if a law authority comes in and asks questions.
I don't think we really talk to our priests or
like that. We won't.
Yeah, we
won't confess.
Yeah,
because we're
Christians. Yeah, real Christians. I mean, I think it would just depend on the dude. Some might snitch you out.
If you don't confess to the priest, as in like asking.
What is
We're talking to, when you guys like that's weird that you don't see the face. No, because we're talking to God.
Your hope in terms of the impact. So, do you guys think it's common for Catholics to go to, let's say, a church further out, so the priest won't recognize their voice?
Yeah, Catholics do that all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, bro, my voice is.
There are people who have like habitual sins, and they don't want to keep going back to their parish priest for the same sin, so they'll go to another one.
You see how they running around God? Look. Let me just say this, y'all. As a Jew, they always told us this: if you steal, you act like the camera's looking. You start creeping around.
All they taught you to do is suck the foreskin off.
They say like you should act like that all the time.
That's what the fuck
they say. Like you should act like that all the time.
How to
because
suck
God is
fucking
watching all the
penis
time.
man, he's confused.
Settle down.
He doesn't know. Are you doing
Settle down.
What the hell is that I'm here for a sword fight? I don't hunt rabbits with a cannon. I'm no rabbit. That remains to be seen.
You're a Jew. So
steal.
Your hairline is.
Can you steal?
Tell your body to be disgusting. How about that? Tell your body to
God is watching all this. God is
watching you play with your asshole that night.
From your so-called God
you want to take another shot?
Yeah, let's do it.
You have to see this.
John Demon.
I spit on you, Jacobus, because that's what you're worth to me.
You spit on my
That's what you're worth. You're worth the floor to me.
And then you lick
You're worth less than the floor to me.
You
What
suck
were
the
you
dick.
talking about?
You a dick sucker.
Like your mother?
You suck my dick.
Like your mother? I learned my ways through.
As you can see, this is all original Rolex bezel. Really breaks my heart to really melt all this, but go this high. We need to have the flow going. We're going to the refiner, we're going to melt all these, and you guys are going to see the process. It's beautiful. Let's see how much we got.
Alright, my bad, because it's
926.8 grams.
We're not gonna get it like that. Are there any
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
But cremation's like
This time you don't lose nothing.
Yes, I know which way
should melt it is. Sometimes some people they melt, they lose a few grams. So the question is it gonna be over 100K or under?
I will make sure that I sell first. Then I will make more commitment. Then customer, everybody paying the business. Everybody today paying 3-4 days, please.
Hey, let's check the Let me ask you a question. If you're gonna sell this, how much is the value now based on this? Can you tell me how much it comes to? Money? This is the magic number. Yes! I told you it's gonna be over 100. Come on, Solito. As you can see, this is all original Rolex bezel.
It's different. Like during like the time like the Civil War, that's like when it changed. Like people used to like spend time with the dead body like days after, right? And then it's only like after the Civil War where like this kind of they started like
Yeah, you raised $2 million. I want to know where the tampon money is.
It just kind of like really took over.
But you know what else happened? You know what happened during the Civil War? During the American Civil War, embalming technology was researched and progressed.
And then you lie about being Muslim and you're not.
Last time embalming was studied that much was in like ancient Egypt. And the reason they needed that is because, right, the soldiers from the south would die up north and vice versa. So a lot of fucking...
And then you lie about being Muslim and you're not because you're atheist.
To preserve the bodies. And it was the first like major war with photographs.
And then you...
I have this 5-volume set, photographic history of the Civil War. This is crazy photos, man. Crazy fucking photos.
You say the most disgusting things that just make me question. I'll be completely honest with you. I think culturally, there's...
As you can see, this God is saying to you today, my child.
Guys, you do what we do. Yeah, stop projecting your perverted thoughts.
If somebody tell you want to fight at 3 o'clock in the morning, you think they not perverted? Like, what? Like, you are not Christians in here.
To be able to do that.
No, we try. No, you don't. I don't know.
Why don't you go over there?
Chinese or Japanese? Which one are you?
Chinese.
Yeah,
Voice is rising. Doesn't matter, bro. Whatever, bro.
Are you Japanese? What's
It's
going
Korean,
on?
bro, or whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, now we have evolved into personal.
Dude, his question.
Maybe I'm being very honest to myself. You know, there's a country I like. There's a country that's very clear. I think.
Wait, guys.
Before you critique another country, hold on. Do you know that Japan is heavily reliant on Middle Eastern oil? Actually, it's actually.
So what? I mean, the entire world. The entire world.
90% of it.
The entire world.
Right.
I know.
So
So when you critique,
so if you like it so much, go live there.
Yeah, exactly. If you like so much, go live there. That's it.
Right, I'm telling you, if you like the oil so much, go live there.
I don't like the oil there. I mean, I'm driving a Tesla, buddy.
So what do you?
I don't need your petrol. I mean, exactly. You should be telling them. If you love Iran that much, go live there. I mean, you are being double standard, don't you?
And where is the electricity coming from for the electric car? Where's that electricity coming from?
That's logically strange, don't you believe?
Okay,
you bought oil from Iran, so you're gonna love Iran. I mean, what's the point, buddy?
You fool, you're not logical.
What's the point? Aren't you? Isn't Iran buying? I mean, I think Iran is buying a lot of things.
So Iranian